How much can you make as a life coach? Do you wonder how much life coaches actually make? Are you a new or aspiring life coach who has heard conflicting information about how much life coaches actually earn? If you want to be a profitable life coach, you're in the right place because in this video, I'm going to show you how much you can make as a life coach. Hey, Courtney Sanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I am a full-time online life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and do all the things, and I'm actually somebody who gets and has gotten paid for life coaching. And so if you're wondering how much do life coaches make, I'm telling you, it really ranges the gamut. It depends on what type of life coach you are, and I don't necessarily mean whether you have a certification or not. I find that having a certification almost has no bearing in terms of how much money you make. It really depends on your brand, and there's all kind of stuff that we're gonna talk about when we get into this, but I am someone who actually got my start in life coaching. I got my start specifically in helping people master their self-discipline, and so I'll never forget the first time I sold a program. It was actually a 21-day self-discipline program. And I remember I made my first, I think it was $4,200 in 48 hours. So that's $4,200 in 48 hours. And that was basically what I was taking home on my paychecks. And so I remember literally jumping on the bed, calling my mom, so excited, where I could not believe that people actually paid me and I was able to do this. And so that is some of the best money I've made in my life, even to this day. Yes, I've made a lot more since then, but that was just so pivotal for me at that time because it signified that I could actually do this and that this was going to be a profitable career for me. That was like the touchstone where I was like, wow, I'm really onto something. If I could just figure out how to repeat this process and then how to grow and scale it, I'm gonna be off to the races. And so that was way back in the day. That was back in 2015. And so as I'm recording this, it is 2022. So that was 7 years ago. And we have since done well beyond that. I'm actually a 7-figure earner. We make over $1 million in my business per year. And so, yeah, I have a lot to share about how much you can make as a life coach. Clearly you can make a lot, but again, it depends on what type of coach you are and how you structure your business model. And so we're going to get into all of that right now. Okay, so I find that there are actually 4 bands of life coaching that we're gonna go into when it comes to the income that life coaches typically earn. And so the first band is unfortunately $0, right? These are my life coaches that are not making any money. And typically these life coaches aren't making any money simply because they're not charging. So maybe you can relate to this. You're one of these people who have great advice. Everybody comes to you all the time for help with whatever your specialty is, whatever it is that you're good at, but you're always coaching people for free. And I'm not opposed to, coaching some family and friend for free in the beginning just to kind of get your feet wet and to be like, wow, can I actually get people results? And is this actually helpful? But when it comes to the point where they are telling their friends about you and people are texting you like, hey, I got your number from your cousin. She told me you're really good at X, Y, and Z. I was wondering if we could hop on the phone and you could teach me how to blah, 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 or if you could help me do blah, blah, blah. Okay, people need to pay for that at that point. Okay, now we're getting to the place where you should actually be charging money for what it is that you offer. And if you struggle with that, I actually recommend that you check out my video. It's either, I think it's here on your screen, called the Change Your Money Mindset video. So I share how to change your money mindset because our money mindsets affect how we charge in our coaching. And so if you have a messed up money mindset, if you have conflicting beliefs around money, you maybe struggled with money growing up or your parents didn't instill, good money mindsets with you, it's very important that you clear all that stuff out as you start to grow your business because it'll stick with you and it'll really prevent you from making the money that you could be making in your coaching. So like I said, there's different types of coaches. Some life coaches make $0 and that's simply because they're giving their coaching away for free. So hopefully that's not you, but I do want to admit that there are some life coaches that are like that, but you just have to keep that in mind. Okay, the second type of life coach that I think is more common even than the life coach who makes $0 is a life coach who makes less than 6 figures. So this is a life coach who makes less than $100,000 per year. Maybe you've seen numbers in statistics like, oh, the average life coach makes $65,000 a year, things like that. These types of coaches typically hit that income band because they're doing one-on-one solo sessions or they're selling really, really cheap courses. So what I mean by one-on-one solo sessions is these are the people that are saying, oh yeah, you can book a consultation with me or a call with me for just $50, or you can book a call from me for even $150. That's still very, very inexpensive, and you want to really shift away from that. We're gonna talk about what you should shift to in just a second, but if you find that you're doing these $125, $150 online coaching sessions and people are kind of booking ad hoc, maybe they're coming to your website, maybe a friend told them about you, and so they click the link and they book a 90-minute call with you and they pay you $125. Like, yeah, it's better than the first type of coach because at least you got paid for it, but it's still not that great because you're never gonna crack 6 figures doing that. Also, if you're always selling these super cheap courses, if you have a $49 course on how to X, Y, and Z, again, you're never gonna cross the 6-figure mark, or I shouldn't say never, but it's extremely difficult if you're a brand new life coach because that type of model requires high volume. So maybe you could get away with it on the cheap courses if for some reason your social media blows up and you end up having tens of thousands or even 100,000s of followers, then sure, maybe selling a $50 course might still end up being profitable for you. But even if you're super popular and you're doing those one-on-one sessions, again, those $150 coaching session or $125 coaching session, by definition, you're gonna be limited in how many of those you can do. I mean, there's only so many hours in the day, so it really doesn't matter how many followers you have because once you get a lot of followers, you're gonna max out. And even if you did coaching sessions for all of your working hours, you still are not going to crack 6 figures charging those kinds of rates. So again, that's the most common type of life coach that I see that is capped at their income. But if you're interested in transcending that, I'm gonna teach you how in just a second. All right, I'm gonna get into many more tips where that came from, but first I wanna hear from you. How much do you want to make as a life coach? Share in the comments below. Okay, so now we're getting into the third band, and this is where we're starting to, cook with gas, as they say, or is it cook with grease? I never know how that expression goes, but basically things are really moving at this level. And these are my coaches who are able to consistently earn at least 6 figures in their business. So maybe they're making $100,000 in their business, maybe even a little more, $120,000, $150,000. Some are even making $200,000, $250,000. I'm at a client, her first year made over $200,000 in her coaching business. And part of the reason she was able to do that is because she mastered the 4-figure coaching package. So a life coach can easily make 6 figures and beyond if they master how to come up with coaching packages that they can charge at least 4 figures for. So I talk all the time how I am a big proponent of creating some sort of coaching package that you can charge anywhere from $2,500 to $3,500 for. And I say that because then you only need 3 to 4 clients a month in order to hit 10K. And I think 10K a month is kind of the baseline for a quote unquote real business. Like if you're saying I want to quit my job and I want to do this full time, you need to consistently be averaging about 10K a month in your business. And I understand you're like, well, I'm not even making that at work. I really only need 5K a month to live. So can I just quit my job when I'm making 5K a month in my business? But understand this is your business, right? All the money you make is not all the money you get to keep. You will want to hire a virtual assistant. There's software that you need to pay for, marketing software. No, the overhead is not super high in a coaching business in the way that it is in a brick and mortar business, but it's also not free. Like there are still things that you are going to have to pay for. And so you're also gonna have to pay for taxes, right? That's something that people fail to keep in mind. When you start making money in your business, you need to pay for taxes, even though you can minimize your taxes. If you check out one of the books that I talked about in my video, the 5 books that changed my financial life as a women entrepreneur, I talk about a really great book called Tax-Free Wealth, and I share all about that in the video. So you can definitely check that out if you want to minimize your taxes. But yeah, I find that making 10K a month is kind of like, okay, you're quote unquote a real business. You're, you're doing things at a real level. And I find that it's nearly impossible unless you have a super large audience to cross the 6-figure mark unless you have some sort of 4-figure coaching package. And so I teach all about how to come up with your 4-figure coaching package, how to price it, how to find clients that are willing to pay for it, how to market it, how to get clients in the door immediately in my coaching program, The Next Big Name. You can learn more about that program. We actually have some spots that just opened up. And if you click the link below, you'll even see a sneak peek of what the program looks like, what the platform looks like. It's a 12-month program. I have staff coaches that hold twice weekly calls. In the platform, you can actually actually submit questions to me and my team, and we receive them and are able to give you direct coaching right as you are going through the coursework. So it's really an amazing program. So again, check that out. And if there's spots available, we definitely invite you to apply. But either way, whether it's working with me or watching some of my YouTube videos or figuring this out on your own, you'll want to figure out how you can create 4-figure coaching packages, because that is kind of a requirement in order to hit the 6-figure mark as a life coach. And the last band when it comes to how much you can earn as a life coach is actually millions and more. So if you can believe it, there are life coaches, including yours truly, who are earning over $1 million in their business. And so what these coaches are doing different, even beyond the coaches who have mastered the 4-figure coaching package, is that at this level, you've really created an empowerment empire. At this level, you have courses, but you also have group programs, you might have books, you have digital products, you have all sorts of things that people can get into. You have free things, you have paid things, you have high ticket things, you have medium ticket things, you have events. You are running the gamut, right? So I have all of those things and more. I'm actually in talks trying to create different merchandise that you'll be able to purchase soon. Really interested in creating planners. There might even be a perfume line coming soon. If that's something that would interest you, go ahead and let me know in the comments if you want to smell like CLS, right? I'm like, oh, people want this because it smells like money, okay? It smells like success. That's what my scent is gonna smell like. But anyway, I think it'd be super fun. But yeah, I'm even working on creating different merchandise that you can purchase, like physical products, in addition to all the digital offerings and courses and programs that I offer. So if you really wanna cross the $1 million mark, you're gonna have to really build your brand and become the next big name. That's what my program is called, the Next Big Name. And you really have to take becoming the top of your field, the best in your industry. You have to take that very seriously. So again, I have a video all about how you can be the best in your field. And again, if you want to learn how to create your empowerment empire and how to be the next big name in your industry, you can learn more about my coaching program by clicking the link below. All right, I hope you enjoyed the tips in this video. Again, if you want to apply to work with me, go ahead and click the link below to learn more about the program, to see if we have spots, and to see what the program looks like, to get that little sneak peek. But yeah, this is how much you can make as a life coach. You can make anywhere from $0 to $1 million a year or more. It's really up to you and what your goals are. So if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want even more where this came from, make sure you follow me on Instagram, where I share lots of coaching tips. And if you want even more, make sure that you are subscribed to my podcast. That's the Courtney Sanders Show on both iTunes and Spotify. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.